What's going on, YouTube? Pistol Packing Pilot back with another video. Today we're talking about my top 5 reasons that my CZ P10C is my everyday carry weapon. Stay tuned. All right, guys, Triple P back here with another video. Got my CZ P10C. You guys have seen this in other videos before. As you can see, no magazine is in the gun. And the chamber is empty. The gun is safe. First thing with this pistol, the reason that I choose to carry this more than any other weapon, ladies and gentlemen, is the reliability. I have thousands of rounds through this gun. I've never had a single malfunction. I've shot just about every single type of 9mm ammo that you can pump through here, including reloads, good quality factory stuff, Federals, Hornadies, it doesn't matter. This thing will eat absolutely anything. Never had any type of malfunction, stovepipe, anything like that. It acts a lot like a Glock. Every time you pull the trigger, the gun is going to go bang. It's as simple as that. And when you're talking about a combat handgun, that is the most important factor. The one thing that you don't want to have happen when you pull that trigger is to hear that. You need to hear that bang. This gun will not fail you, at least in my experience. Number 2 reason is the ergonomics. This gun just melts into your hand. I'm holding the gun with my left hand right now because it's easier with a camera angle on the video, but it doesn't matter which hand I'm shooting with, and I do shoot this gun with both hands because you should be experienced shooting with both hands because you never know when one of your other hands is not gonna work, but it just melts into your hand. It fits perfectly. It's got a nice bore axis. The recoil on it is smooth. It's just an absolute sweet feeling gun. Obviously, it might not feel that way for everybody, but for me, for Pistol Packing Pilot, for my hands, I've got fairly big hands. It just feels perfect. Number 3 reason that I carry my P10C almost exclusively is this. Capacity. 15 rounds in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. You've got 16 shots of 9mm. I'm not really sure what the state of New York and California and Illinois, et cetera, are telling you about capacity in magazines. Bad guys don't have to come in just singles. It's not always just a bad guy. Bad guy can be a plural as well, meaning bad guys. Many times, there are more than one bad guy. Second of all, lots of trained police officers even miss their mark. When you're involved in a shooting, there's certain physiological changes that happen to your body. You get tunnel vision. You can hear your heart pounding in your ears at the pace of a machine gun. You get auditory exclusion. Voices sound different. Noises sound different. Things can move in slow motion. There are so many physiological changes that your body goes through when it goes into the quote unquote fight or flight mode, that it's easy to throw a round or two. For every miss that you have, that's one less round you have in that magazine to protect yourself with. Now, obviously, we shouldn't be dropping the hammer until we see our target on that front sight. And you should be sure of your target and what's beyond it. But remember, in a perfect world, that's how things happen. There's not always a perfect world out there. When something like this happens, you're fighting for your life. You would rather have more rounds than you need than end up needing rounds because there's still bad guys coming at you and not having them. The number 4 reason that I carry this gun almost exclusively as my everyday carry is there's no external safety on the gun. There are no extra steps you need to take to make the gun go bang. It's pull the trigger, bang. Gun cycles, pull the trigger, bang. Gun cycles, and that gun will do that each and every time until you have a magazine in here, and then it will lock back, and it's telling you, I'm empty, dumbass, feed me. And you stick in another 15 rounds. I know a lot of people out there like external safeties. External safeties, in my opinion, are fine for going out into the range and having fun. When you are focused on fighting for your life, I promise you, you will forget to disengage that safety because it's an extra step and you're not thinking about it. And unless you draw and fire from a holster 3,500 to 5,000 times as you're disengaging that safety as the gun comes up out of your draw stroke out of that holster, you will forget to disengage that safety. And you will pull and nothing will happen. And then you'll remember, but by that time, have you already been shot by the bad guy? Obviously, this is a preference thing, but Pistol Pack and Pilot doesn't like carrying guns with external safeties. This gun doesn't need one. This right here, that finger that wiggles, that's the only safety that you need. Thought I was going to get a remark from the peanut gallery on that one. That finger that wiggles. And the fifth reason, ladies and gentlemen, that this is my everyday carry is the gun is striker fired. So, trigger pull, gun cycles, trigger reset, trigger pull, gun cycles, you get the idea. It's the same trigger pull every time, as opposed to if you have a single action, double action pistol. The first double action pull is a long, heavy pull that can be anywhere from like 10 pounds to 12 pounds. Then the gun cycles, and the trigger is usually back about halfway after the gun cycles. And if it has an external hammer, that hammer is usually cocked. So now you're in single action. So that gun is only doing one thing when you pull the trigger, one action, hence the term single action, which is dropping the hammer because it's already back. But when the gun is in the way that you would carry it, if you have a single action, double action pistol, then the hammer is usually going to be forward and you've got that long, heavy pull because your double action pull is doing two things. It's cocking the hammer and it's dropping the hammer. So because of that, you've got a much longer, heavier pull. There's always exceptions to that rule, like your 1911 style pistols. They're meant to be carried in a cocked and locked position. So you're actually carrying the gun in a single action fashion because it's a single action pistol and it's got an external safety on it and the hammer is back. And that's the way that you carry the pistol. It's got a very light trigger pull, but again, it's going to have an external safety that you have to disengage before that trigger will let you drop the hammer. That's not my jam. I mean, obviously, once again, it's a preference thing. I like the fact that I get the same trigger pull every time. The muscle memory is there. And, you know, I've got a lot of rounds through this gun, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here or anything, but if I shoot it well when I'm not in a life or death situation, I would certainly hope that should I need to use this firearm in a life or death self-defense scenario, that I can put hits on target, center mass, or headshots, or whatever is needed to stop my threat. That's the top 5 reasons that my CZ P10C is almost exclusively 100% my everyday carry pistol. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Pistol Pack and Pilot, and I am out. See ya.